We also found several days when her security team clocked long hours, even though the mayor had nothing or only one appearance on her public calendar. August 8th of last year, Cantrell's schedule lists one item: attending the opening of Nobu Restaurant at Caesars Casino downtown. Yet on that day, two of the three members of her security team put on their timesheets they worked 12 hours.
Okay, I mean, this is just getting really goofy here. We are talking about New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell. So while New Orleans is dealing with the crime, the crazy weather, and prisoners escaping like it's some kind of crazy movie, this mayor is out flying so much that she's probably earning a lot of data points.
Mayor LaToya Cantrell is getting on another plane, and this time to Nice, France.
She's headed to a climate summit. It's her second trip in the 3 weeks since the jailbreak. It's coming as she's been criticized for staying relatively quiet through the whole crisis.
This mayor is flying so much, you know she's getting so much Delta miles. We're gonna break down this report here talking about how she's basically just given up as the mayor. Not really spending a whole lot of time, working, but she loves to travel. And speaking of people getting played, all this political fraud, it reminds me of what's going on in healthcare, especially Medicare. Some of the biggest companies out there are pushing seniors into bad plans just to make a quick buck. It's extremely shady, and sadly, it's pretty common. Even the Department of Justice is starting to crack down on some of these schemes. Multiple investigations are underway into whether these companies have been misleading older Americans or steering them into coverage that benefits the insurer but not the patient. That's why I partnered with Chapter. Chapter reviews over 24,000 Medicare plans to find the best one for you or your loved ones. No pressure, no sales pitch, just real help from a real human. And it's totally free. Many seniors are dealing with this situation right now, and the system is confusing on purpose. So having someone honest in your corner, that matters. Most people who use Chapter save over $1,100 a year. Call 262-454-0419. Again, that's 262-454-0419. You can also check the link that's going to be in the pinned comment and the description box below. Now, let's get back into it.
Cantrell embarks on her second trip in a week. A new Fox 8 investigation finds while in the city, the mayor has spent less time in meetings than previous years.
So imagine your house is on fire, like literally flames are shooting out the windows. You call 911, and instead of sending firefighters, the chief is out in Cabo sipping on a margarita with a little umbrella in it, or a mojito, whatever you want to call it, talking about, you know what, guys, I'm out on vacation. I'll be back Monday. That's basically what Mayor Cantrell is doing right now. This person is taking 2 trips in 1 week while the city is falling apart. And obviously, we're not just talking about any city. We're talking about New Orleans. The crime rate is on steroids. The infrastructure is held together by duct tape and probably Mardi Gras beads. And don't even get me started on the weather. Hurricanes that don't even knock anymore. They just barge in like they pay rent. And through all that, the mayor's out there living her best life. This Fox 8 investigation didn't say, a little less time in meetings. They said that she's been disappearing like Houdini. Her calendar basically looks like a student who dropped out of mid-semester. She's not in the meetings. She's not doing city business. She's definitely not doing anything that she said she was going to do when she was begging for votes a couple of years ago. Here's the thing. Being a mayor is not just a job. It's not even just a 9 to 5. It's not some punch in, punch out type of job. When you run a city like New Orleans, you're supposed to be locked in basically 24/7. You don't get to treat this like a part-time job while you go full-time traveler influencer in another country. The people voted for mayor, not a travel blogger.
Outside the office investigation, Chief Investigative Reporter Stephen Stock looks at her calendar and the time clocked by members of her security detail.
In 2022, we found Mayor Cantrell's calendar showed many days where she did little to no official business. However, when we look through more than 3 years of records since that time, her official calendar shows the number of scheduled meetings has decreased every year.
Let us come this way, guys. We're not going to answer any questions.
New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell has recently missed high-profile city events, from a New Orleans police promotion ceremony last month.
Our mayor is out of town today.
To the power outage affecting more than 100,000 Entergy customers. During that utility incident, the mayor and her office remained silent. No public appearances or statements.
So really, really bad stuff. If you're the mayor, usually you want to show up when police officers either get promoted or they finish the academy and they become full-fledged police officers. That's the job of the mayor, to show up, shake some hands, have a speech. And she basically gave up. She don't care. She's not rerunning. I think she's done her term. I think she's out. But you could tell the level of care she has for the city of New Orleans. She doesn't give a damn. She's not here. 100,000 people out of power outage, and she doesn't have anything to say. That's pretty embarrassing. I mean, please help me understand this, because maybe I'm missing something. We got a blackout hitting 100,000 people, and the official mayor's response is nothing. Not even a little tweet or something like that. Not a, hey, hang in there, guys. Just poof, ghosted, vanish. Terrible. It's like, you know what? Don't call me. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Again, you're the mayor. You can't dodge this type of thing. So when the city goes dark, you're supposed to be the one to light it up, so to speak. You get on the mic, you show your face, you rally the troops, you do something, even if it's just a flashlight in a press conference. But instead, Cantrell hit that mute button and she doesn't care, because I guess the city's problems don't apply to her. So when the power goes out and the mayor goes missing, that's not leadership, that's just abandonment. So this isn't just some minor event she's skipping. These are really important, critical moments for any kind of mayor in any kind of city or town or village. Police ceremonies, infrastructure disasters, times where your appearance matters the most. The mayor's job is not to clock in when it's convenient and dip out when it's uncomfortable. It's about truly being there when things go south. Otherwise, what are you doing in office in the first place? You're literally not even in the office, apparently. So when 100,000 people sat in the dark, the mayor couldn't show her face. I guess when it rains, it pours, and only the residents get wet because the mayor, she packed an umbrella and caught the next flight out.
Our review of the mayor's official calendar shows her absence from office is not a recent trend.
Right now, we're continuing to watch the latest on that storm.
Take, for example, late last year, the week of November 4th, a hurricane was moving into the Gulf. And that same week, the New Orleans Civil Service Commission announced it was investigating Cantrell's decision to delay NOPD promotions. But the mayor wasn't in New Orleans. Instead, she was at the Smart City Expo conference in Barcelona, Spain.
Tonight, we are tracking the risk of flooding.
2 weeks later, heavy rains and flooding threatened the city. And
Police say 2 people attending a second line were shot and killed, a third injured.
a mass shooting at a second line. Again, New Orleans' top city leader wasn't in town.
This is embarrassing. So the most important things is happening. Again, when things get really, really serious out there, and she's nowhere to be found. She's gone. She's traveling around the world, it looks like, with no care of what's going on with the people who live in New Orleans. I don't know if you guys know this, but there was a prison break that happened a couple of weeks ago. And there's still people still on the run. This is crazy. This is not some Michael Bay movie. People out here really escaping from jail. And while the rest of the country is watching this in shock, who's been really quiet about this thing as well? Mayor LaToya Cantrell. Maybe someone hit the mute button on her mic. Multiple inmates escaped. Some of these inmates have been charged with murder. They crawled through a hole in a shower head and slipped into a loading dock and then just disappeared in the streets. Multiple people have been arrested. Multiple, friends and family, workers. It's a complete and utter disaster. And Mayor Cantrell said a few things. But it shows that, again, when things get really tough, and I think what happened was that situation where she got caught messing with a married police officer, I guess her bodyguard that was supposed to be on her detail while he was making a lot of overtime money, if you catch my drift. She decided, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to come in and kind of just finish my term, collect my checks and move on. But think about it. There are murderers that escaped from jail. You'd think that she'd be talking about this every single day. Not really just a few words. It's like she's hiding behind some furniture or something like that. It's really, really embarrassing. And this whole thing just screams systematic failure, system failure. You got jail staff not noticing the inmates are missing for multiple hours. What kind of Dollar Tree security they're running over there? If this happened in any other city, people need to be quitting and getting fired by lunch. But in New Orleans, I guess it's just another Tuesday. And look, I'm not against mayors going to conferences. Obviously, it's probably important to either try to get resources to come back to your area, but there's a time and a place. And this ain't it. You don't fly halfway across the planet, talk policy while your own streets are filled with potholes, crime scenes. It's just, there's flooding. Handle your block before you hop to other continents.
This time, she was at a global warming conference in Brazil. In all, we found her official 2024 calendar shows the mayor was out of town 65 days, including weekends.
65 days, that's a pretty nice vacation when you're having so many issues happening. So 65 days, you can let that marinate. That's not just a vacation. That's basically like a semester abroad. She's out of the city more than 2 full months in a year where all of these problems were happening. I mean, it's not good. It's not a good look. Yes, to be fair, maybe the weekends are in that number, but even if you subtract those, the amount of time that she's actually working in the city is very thin. Thinner than the ice that she's skating on. We can call it what it is. She is clocked out, checked out mentally a long time ago, and it's her physical absence that's catching up. But being a mayor isn't just looking busy on paper, it's actually being present, being in the same city that you're supposed to be serving. You're in the streets, you're in the meetings, you're in the mess. But apparently if your name is LaToya Cantrell, the job title comes with a travel budget and zero accountability.
It's hard to see when she's ever in the office doing work.
Robert Collins is a professor of urban studies and public policy at Dillard University.
So I think it's very problematic for the taxpayers. They're looking at this and they say, okay, what evidence do we have that the mayor is actually putting 100% effort to serve the needs of the residents? That's really the issue here.
But it isn't just out-of-town trips that have Mayor Cantrell missing public events. We obtained the mayor's official calendar from 2021 through March 11th of this year. Collins says the official calendar should reflect every official event, meeting, or activity that the mayor conducts.
I'm a former political staffer, and we always made sure on his public schedule we put every committee meeting, we put every constituent meeting. We wanted any citizen that went to the website or that wanted to see his public schedule.
But our analysis of her calendar shows a decline in the average number of official Cantrell meetings, events, or appearances per workday. In 2022, we reported Cantrell's calendar showed 11 days when she didn't do any official business or had only one meeting. Last year, her calendar showed 31 days where she had only one event or nothing at all.
So basically, she's not working, and it seems like no one knows what she's doing half the time. I mean, you don't need to be a creeper stalker to try to figure out. I mean, as a citizen, you want to be transparent of what your public servants are doing, because when you vote for them, you're hiring them to do a job. So you want to know if they're doing a job. I mean, if the city is in crisis and we don't know if the mayor is even on American soil, you got a big problem. I mean, at least drop a pin, mayor. Let's see where you're going. It's not just about the trips. It's just the symbolism about it. It's every time she bounces from the city, she's basically saying, y'all handle that, I'm good. Imagine your doctor walking out in the middle of a surgery to go to a conference on how to be a better surgeon. It's like, make it make sense. This is just a person who took a job that is just constantly absent, but they have a credit card to travel. If the mayor even spent half as much time in City Hall as she does in the TSA lines, we might actually see some progress. But now all we see is a calendar full of jet lag and missed calls and 1 to 0 meetings.
We asked the city for records of work-related phone calls the mayor might have made on several of the days where she had no meetings. But the city told us no records of phone calls existed.
And the fact that the mayor does not appear to be as engaged as in the past, I think is something that's rippling throughout the departments and the city right now.
Joe Giarrusso represents District A on the New Orleans City Council. He says he's frustrated over the lack of engagement the council has with the city's top executive.
The hard part, I think, is when you are in a leadership position, people look to you and you set the tone and the culture. And if you aren't working, then how can you ask people below you to do those sort of things?
Following the New Year's Day terror attack, and with the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras looming, Cantrell's calendar shows only 3 meetings with her public safety team in January and February. That's compared to 5 meetings with that same team in the first 2 months of 2024.
One or two things were happening after the terrorist attack. Either A, she wasn't having meetings dealing with the terrorist attack, or B, she was having them, but they're not showing up on her schedule, and she was doing something else. Either way, it sounds strange, because if she was engaged during that period of time with law enforcement, why wouldn't her staff put that on her schedule?
I think she wasn't working. I think she checked out. I think she's on the end of her term. I don't think she's rerunning or anything like that. She don't care. She's letting you know through her inaction, she doesn't give a damn. She's there to get her check to enjoy the amenities and the benefits of being a mayor of a major city like New Orleans. She don't care. She is done. She's letting you know when you hire someone for a job and you see the amount of effort that they produce, you know if they give a damn or not. You don't.
August 8th of last year, Cantrell's schedule lists one item: attending the opening of Nobu Restaurant at Caesars Casino downtown. Yet on that day, 2 of the 3 members of her security team put on their timesheets they worked 12 hours.
Okay, I mean, this is just getting really goofy here. So she's hanging out at Nobu, really nice restaurant. Got the sushi, probably got selfies. That's all she did all day. And then her security team are clocking 12-hour shifts. This sounds like some Tiffany Hayes stuff. So basically half the day of doing what? I mean, who needs to guard the spicy tuna rolls? For that, I don't understand. Actually, I'm getting a little hungry here. But this is just getting really, really goofy. There is multiple days where this mayor has 0 public appearances, but her security detail is still working full shifts. That tells you that she's moving, but not in the ways she wants to be documented. No transparency. She wants to move in and out without any of the citizens to know. I guess unofficial business.
Another day, September 4th, Cantrell had nothing listed on her official calendar, but all 3 members of her security team each clocked nearly a 12-hour day.
If she's at a big public meeting and she's speaking in front of 1,000 people, of course she needs police officers there. But if she's not actually engaging the public, I'm not sure why we're pulling commissioned police officers off the street when those police officers could actually be catching bad guys.
We asked the mayor's office for comment about her calendar and what we found, but we haven't heard back. In past years, during news conferences, she's defended her efforts on behalf of the city.
One thing is clear: I do my job. There's no question at all based on my work ethic, and me getting up every single day, doing the job and going the extra mile.
Collins says the mayor's official calendar shows quite the opposite.
It indicates she's checked out. I think it's pretty clear she's not doing any work for the taxpayers, or if she is, she should provide evidence of that. She should be happy to provide evidence of that. So it just appears that she started her vacation 7 months early.
In March, we also asked for records showing emails sent by Mayor Cantrell on several of the days when her calendar appeared light, to see if she spent the day responding to constituents, even though she had few official meetings. The city has repeatedly delaying giving us those public records.
So like I said, even with one of the guests talking there, she's checked out, and that is unfortunate. It's pretty sad. It's pathetic because the New Orleans residents can't afford someone to quit early in their administration. They need someone to work every single day as hard as they can, because things are not perfect in New Orleans. There's a lot of issues. Again, I believe there's still at least 2 prisoners, basically, I think, convicted of murder or at least accused of murder. So potential murderers are still out there. And this person just gave up. She doesn't want to do it anymore, but she's still collecting those checks from the taxpayers. So that's pretty lame. But let me know what you guys think about this situation in the comments below. This is just outrageous. This is some city mayor type activities here. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.